Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon. I really got to get used to it. It all depends where in the world. Everybody could be in so many different parts of the world. We see a couple of people jumping on. So what Des and I are just trying to do in the same time slot every single week is we are both immigrants. We both moved to New Zealand just over, actually pretty much the same time, 3.5 years ago. So we've both been here for about 3.5 years now. And it's really on our hearts just to try and help as many other people out there that are thinking about moving to New Zealand. If you're thinking about New Zealand, you're in a different country somewhere else in the world, and you're thinking this is a place for you and your family, we're trying to help with answering any questions you may have about moving to New Zealand, whether it is practical day-to-day questions about the country, or whether it's actual immigration questions. So why can we answer immigration questions? Because we've got Des here. Des is a licensed immigration agent, so we're really blessed to have her here. So she can answer any actual immigration-related, visa-related questions as well. And then myself, hey, I'm not an immigration agent, so I can't answer those questions, but I have been a manager for over 15 years, and in the industry, I've done a lot of interviews, and not only done interviews, but I've been for a lot of interviews. So I can even help you with explaining how I went about applying for a job, finding a job when I was still sitting out of country, and actually got a job and moved across here. Des did something similar for her husband, so that's how they found jobs for him when he was in country, so we can talk about that. As well as obviously we got our families here. I got 3 kids. Des, I'm talking for you here. I know you got 2 kids, so we've got families here, so we can chat all about that with you guys. I see there's some people that have joined, so it's really so nice to have you guys join us. Let's see in the chat there, we got Lisa. Oh, you've joined us again. So nice to have you here again. And you've said hello to everybody else, which is nice. You've asked a question here. I'd like to know how your kids adjusted. Are schools very different? Are kids kind in general? Okay, so I'll start and then I'll let Des speak a little bit as well. So let me start by first explaining the ages of my kids and a little bit about my kids so it gives a little bit of context. I have a 14-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. When we first got here 3.5 years ago, my son had just, 10 turning 11 or something like that. And then my daughter was 2.5 turning 3. So that's the ages that we were at when we first arrived here. For my son, I think he went into a public school here. It was a really big school. It was an adjustment for him because back in South Africa, post-COVID, we carried on doing online schooling with him. So he got used to doing online schooling, which was an adjustment when he went to a public school here and actually had to go to school. So that was a bit of an adjustment for him. Also, it was quite a big school that he went to here. So there was a lot of people, and the school was right the way from what we would call grade 1 or level 1, so the littlies, all the way up to your matrics, all on one campus. Yes, there was different sections, but it was a big school, so there was a lot of people. So I think that adjustment was a bit of a change for him, number one. But after the first year, my son made friends that were just like-minded people like him, and he found a good crowd. So I think it's very important that your kids find the right crowd, because there is the wrong crowd out there as well. I promise you that with teenagers, okay? So it's important that you want to find the right crowd for your kids and guide them in that sort of way. But we're blessed. He's found the right crowd. I joke and I say it with respect because I love my son to bits and pieces. He's like the nerdy boy, and I love that, and he's doing so well at school, and he's adjusted so well. He's actually achieving so well to the point now where we're 3.5 years in, where he has even been given awards, and they're even pushing him, bumping him up a year for certain subjects like English, maths, etc. So seriously proud of him. So to answer your question, he's adjusted really well. We did, after a year, put him on a waiting list to go to a semi-private school here. Our idea was actually to move him into a private school, and that's why we actually even chose the area that we're living in so that he would feed into that semi-private school. And after the year, he got the interview, got accepted, but he actually sat down with us and he said, "Mom, Dad, you've moved me from South Africa to here. We're a year in, I've finally made friends, and I'm settling and I'm doing well. Now you want to pull me out of this school and you want to send me to another school again, and I've got to start all over again." And he asked, please, can he stay at the school he's at? So we agreed, and we've let him stay at the school he's at, so long he keeps his grades up and he keeps doing well. And he is. And so we're seriously proud of him. My daughter, on the other hand, when we got here with her, she was younger. So we first had to put her into kindy. We struggled with kindy a little bit with her. When I say kindy, kindergarten, nursery school. Oh, geez, I must use the right wording now that, I'm starting to use Kiwi lingo. So anyway, we put her into kindy. We struggled a little bit. She struggled a little bit with separation anxiety, being away from mom and dad and everything like that. So it was a little bit hard in the beginning. We found the first kindy, we tried it for a couple of months, and that wasn't working so well. So we actually moved her to a different kindy in the area, and that actually made the world of difference. So there is options here. Once we moved her to a different kindy, she just gelled better with those teachers, the way of doing things, and made friends there, and she started thriving. It was actually a feeder kindy for that semi-private school, because then we were going to put her into the semi-private school. She's now moved up into level 2, which is like a grade 2 at the moment. And the schooling does work a little bit different here with the ages and when they accept them. We'll talk about that later. That's not answering your question. But she's integrated very well because now she's even gone with kindy, gone to level 1 with the same sort of friends, and she's keeping the same friendship crowd. And she was a lot smaller. So she's integrated well. That said, I have got my nephew who's here, who's 18, but he's doing all online schooling, so I can't talk to him from that age group. So that's my 3 kids. But I do know there is friends that we've got here that have had kids come across, and they can be bullying, and it can be hard for some of the kids here. So as much as they're against bullying, it is so important, I cannot stress it enough, for your kids to try find the right friendship groups. But I do know once bullying happens, especially in the teenagers, geez, the teenagers here can be a bit rogue, man. They can go a little bit wild. I even see them at the bus stations going a bit mad. I think it's because they got so much freedom. So we really could sit here today on this whole TikTok live and talk all about the teenagers in that sort of way. So I think it's important that you got to try and guide them, got to try help them find the right friendship group. As a South African parent, I think we do get quite involved. We are quite strict comparatively, but overall, there are good people here. It's just finding that right crowd. And I guess you could say that for anywhere in the world, really, actually. So that was me saying a hell of a lot. I hope it sort of answered your question. Des, let's give you some airtime here.
No problem. My kids are a lot smaller, so it's going to be very similar to Brett's daughter. So Willow, who is 4 turning 5, she is just about to start big school with her brother because we start year 0 or year 1 here from the age of 5. She's in an amazing preschool or kindergarten. Yeah. So she absolutely loves it. She's got amazing teachers. I think, again, it was trial and error. We were at a different kindy that maybe didn't have the same sort of beliefs, or I think it's just your kind of family background. So we're, a South African family, so we're quite big on, teaching our kids like respect, and we would like them to not call their teachers by their first name. If we can have a fire or a teacher or a Mrs. or a Mr. in there, that would be great. We want to teach them the importance of respecting elders. So I think once we found the kindy that she's in now, she absolutely loved it, and I can see how she's thriving. She's super independent, and I use that as a euphemism. So she's very, very bossy. I can see that she's just adapted so well in that environment. So she's doing fantastic. She, with the kindy, because again, it's like a feeder school. So the kindy takes them for little trips to the actual school here, and they show them around. So she already knows, she's starting in 2 months. She knows who her teacher is. She knows who her classmates are. She's been there for visits. So she's, super confident about it. And she's really happy. She knows all the kids in the class already by name. So she knows exactly who her friends are going to be. She knows where her bag is going to be. So she's very super prepared for it. So she settled in really, really well. My son, he is already 6. It took him a little bit longer, slightly longer to try and settle. And I think the only reason for that is he's a very, very busy boy. And when we had initially moved over, we were in a school that was very, very focused on academics, whereas not that the current school is not focused on academics, but they're also focused on your child holistically. And I love that for him because he's very involved in things like garden to table and being outdoors, and the school's got like beekeeping. And so they've got lots of little activities that really promote, keeping the environment safe, being outdoors. And he can actually get that energy out before he has to sit down and focus. And so, I've found that the school here really, really plays a huge difference. And he's fantastic now that he's finally found a way to settle in amongst his peers, and he's not, like constantly feeling like, oh, he's the odd one out because he can't sit and focus for as long as everyone else can. So, yeah, kids have had I can't say a seamless transition. There has been some hiccups, but the school itself plays a huge role, I think.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Des. Look, I don't know. I find, although it's not a seamless transition, as you've said, I think they adapt a little bit quicker than what we do as adults. They seem to just make friends quicker. They seem to adapt quicker and just get into it quicker than we do. Maybe we set in our ways, we're a bit older, I don't know. So I find, even although there's been some challenges, they have adapted well. So they're doing well. And I also find at the schools, you're right, choosing the right school is important too. We saw it with my daughter with choosing the right kindy. But I also see that the schools here are more, I don't know, they really want to help. And they offer so many other services as well. So even if a child is helping or falling behind, they've got extra help to pull on to try and get allocated to your kids as well. So there's a lot more here. And one of the big things I love mainly in the public school for my son, which I'm seeing a slight difference, is it's a long school day. So he gets to school, I think school starts at just before 9 or something like that. I drop him off at about 8:30, and I think the bell goes and it's just before 9. But then I have to pick him up again at 3:20. So he gets out at 3:20. So it's a very long day. But they don't give them a lot of homework and everything like that to bring home either. They really try to do everything at school, which is huge. I know back in South Africa when he was in school, he was in a private school, there was a lot of homework that we had to do. But I say that, but I also know the semi-private school that my daughter's in, they still do send some homework. So I don't know, maybe it's a semi-private versus a public school here, I don't know. But that's my experience so far. I can only talk from my experience. I just want to add to everybody out there, please, go for it. Ask us any questions. I'm going to read the chat now. We're here to answer anything that we can about New Zealand, potentially moving to New Zealand, anything about New Zealand. We're immigrants. We've been here for 3.5 years. So if we can help you pay it forward, answer any of your questions, that's what we're here for. I must tell you that Des is a licensed immigration advisor as well, so she can even answer those immigration questions. Otherwise, we could just anything practical about the move, anything we can answer. That said, I do know, and there's a long number there, I cannot answer the question here. It's thoughts on what happened at Clover House. I have no idea. Maybe I was living under a rock. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what that is and what that is about. So I don't know how to answer that one. But going back one, Lisa, I hope we've answered your question about kids well enough. If not, please let us know. Okay, there's another question here. Hi all, I'm currently looking for a job at that side in order to obtain sponsored job token. Yeah, I know that's so tough, guys. I know that's probably one of the biggest challenges for everybody, especially most of us. Our pathway to getting here is to get a job offer. And sometimes it feels a little bit like the chicken and the egg, because it's like, you get told, well, you need that job offer to be able to get the visa, but you need the visa sometimes because they say, well, sorry, I can't give you a job offer or have an interview with you unless you've got the visa. So you feel like that chicken and egg scenario. Biggest advice that I can offer is, I'll talk from my own personal experience and I'll let Des do the same, is when I was still in South Africa looking for a job, first thing I'd say is, this is a tough road. This is not something that for most of us happens overnight. So we're not going to be able to get it. Not a lot of us just get a job within the, 3 weeks of looking or whatever else. And I see a lot of socials that they say, oh, do this course and do that, and we guarantee you a job and you'll get a job in 3 weeks. And I just think, oh boy, I hope you've got that magic wand, but I don't see it being that easy. It wasn't that easy for me. So what am I getting at? Mindset. Mindset is huge. First, you've got to get yourself into the mindset. There are going to be rejections. There are going to be people that just ghost you. There are going to be times when you apply for tons of jobs and nobody comes back to you, okay? And that's tough to keep going when you're just being hit by that all the time. So it's really getting into the mindset and realizing this is going to take grit, it's going to take consistency, it's going to take commitment, and you just got to keep going. That's the first thing, okay? That said, you can't just do it as a shotgun approach and just fire your CV out there to any and tons of jobs and hope for the best. That's not going to work either. I think you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a strategy. You've got to think this through. And what I mean by a plan and a strategy is you now got to think, okay, first place I believe to start is before you start looking for a job, spending tons of time, tons of effort, putting in all this effort to try and find a job, do you even have a pathway to get here? You will want to know that you can at least get a visa, have a pathway to eventually become a resident here. Otherwise, what's the point of going through all of this? Okay, so that is a big one, I would really say. For me personally, the first thing my wife and I did is we met with, and it was Des, way back then in South Africa, to say, hey, figure out on our skill sets, on our experience, do we even have a potential pathway to moving here? Okay, she doesn't charge for that. She doesn't charge for that time. You'll look in my bio, there's a link in my bio, and I'm not trying to sell this to you guys, please. It's not going to cost you anything. It's more the whole reason Des and I do this is not to try, yeah, of course, there's a business at the back end of it eventually, yes. But in the beginning, joining our community, it's free. Doing a pathway assessment with Des, it's free. Why are we doing this? We're trying to help pay it forward, give you clarity, help you figure it out first and work out, can I even do this before you waste money and time? Because there's going to be some people out there that are going to go through this. They'll meet with Des, have a pathway assessment, and unfortunately, she's going to tell you, based on what you've given me, I'm sorry, there's no pathway for you. But rather know that than go through all this effort, okay? So what am I saying? First step, we're trying to give you some tips here. I would suggest going to my bio, going to the link on my bio. You'll see there's a soft landing community to join. Join that community, it's free. That's a safe space where Des and I and others are in there to support one another and help you on this journey. The first free portion of the community is all about finding clarity and working out if you can even move to New Zealand. And that's where you can meet up with Des, reach out to her, and do a pathway assessment. That pathway assessment is your first step because you first want to work out, do I even have a pathway? Let's say you meet with Des. She goes through everything and she says, you've got a pathway. Now that's when you want to start thinking, okay, now I know my pathway. I know how I can get there. If it's linked to finding a job, how do I go about finding a job? First thing that you want to do is do a little bit of research. Okay, so now you've got to go work out, based on your skills, what companies would you want to work at here? What is the name of the jobs you would be looking for here? Okay, what sort of skills are they looking for at that jobs? At those jobs that they're advertising here? How much do those jobs pay here? Is it enough to not only survive here, but thrive here? So you want to start now doing your homework, and that's where we also offer a whole lot of discovery modules for free. There's no cost to them to try and work out what is the cost of living here. How do you go about looking up jobs? How do you go looking up how much things cost here in that community? And we'll lead you. And we're there in the community. So if you're not sure of something, ask us, and then we'll help you. So that, I know it sounds like I'm trying to sell the community and tips, but I'm really actually just trying to help you. And sorry, user, I know you asked for any advice and direction, and you've got a long number behind your handle. So that user with a very long number from 61 all the way to 25, my suggestion is really please join the community. Start with a pathway assessment. Once you've done a pathway assessment, have a potential pathway to get here, then we'll guide you through doing that research on how you figure out what your jobs titles are, what sort of skills they're looking for, how much you can earn in that job title, what sort of companies you want to go look about. And then we even start talking you through tips and tricks here of how you would use LinkedIn, how you would use Seek, how you would use these applications, not only to apply for jobs, and not only how you put your CVs together and your cover letters together, but also how it is so important to start connecting with those potential companies that you've done investigations on now to see that that's where I'd want to work. Try and find out who the managers are and the people are that work at those companies that you want to work at. How you would follow those companies on LinkedIn pages, go into their pages, looking for careers on their pages. So those are the things you're going to have to try to do. It's effort and it takes time. But I promise you, if you're genuinely serious about moving here, we can guide you, and it's a long haul. This is not a flick a switch and you'll be in New Zealand tomorrow. Well, not for most of us, and that wasn't my experience. My experience was we had to do some grunt work. We had to have grit to keep going because it didn't happen overnight. And we had a roller coaster ride. There was times when we were applying and I thought, oh, my visa's going to fall through because it's taking too long to actually get the response. Yes, I've got the job offer. So even once we got that, it was nerve-wracking. It was over Christmas and then everything was shutting down. I promise you, it is a ride like this. But that's why we got a community to try to help each other. Des, I'm going to let you talk a little bit as well to maybe answer some of the questions around giving tips there. And I'll look at the messages and see if there's any other questions.
So I was actually going to say with Lisa, yes, it is tough. And yes, I do think there is some resemblance with myself and Liz. Liz is my older sister, or she's the middle sister of three. So yes, there's definitely a resemblance between the three of us. I think Brett's touched on all the important things. Get the community, do your research. I want to say I get upset, but because I really, really care about my clients and their goals and where they want to be, I get frustrated with them when they tell me, "Oh, I've been job searching for 6 months and I still haven't found anything." And then I go onto their LinkedIn and they've got 40 connections, of which 30 of them are still based in their home country, and I'm like, guys, this is not, I get that you're frustrated, but I'm frustrated with you because we're still not doing all the right steps. I think doing that homework, finding those companies, you have to do some legwork. As much as you're going to have an advisor or a platform like Soft Landing that's behind you and supporting you each step of the way, job search is one of those things that have to be applied every day. It's something that you're going to do for, I always tell people at least 4 to 6 months of connections and just getting your name out there before you even start talking about, can I be considered for a role within your organization? So I think the important thing is, doing that homework. Which businesses are in my industry? Which businesses do I really like in New Zealand? Okay, I'm going to follow them. Then, go into the people part of it on LinkedIn and see who can I connect with in this organization that's at the same level as me that I can have conversations with. And I get that it's tough. I'm going to share my husband's story, but we were here for 6 weeks, and I know 6 weeks doesn't sound like a very long time in the grand scheme of things, but he comes from an IT background. He's been in his profession for with the same company for 13 years before we moved over. And after 4 weeks, after a month, he was just like, this is so hard. Why am I not getting work? And I said to him, well, I can tell you it's because we're not on LinkedIn. And he said, but I can't talk to people. I don't know how to talk to people. And I said to him, you're not asking anyone for a job. Just get to know people. And that is how he landed his first job, funny enough. And he, he loved his work. He loved applying himself eventually, but it did take him quite a while to get there. And it was tough. I said to him eventually, I said, if you're not going to believe in yourself and you're so down and you're so hard on yourself, I said, you need to be your biggest cheerleader in this process. If you're not going to give yourself the time of day and not give yourself a bit of grace, no one else is. So you need to be a little bit more confident in yourself. I know it's hard. It gets very frustrating when you hear another no, but I promise you, if you are every day spending an hour or every day spending half an hour connecting with people, connecting with businesses, networking, making your posts on LinkedIn, it's not ever going to be negative, because we've been here for 3 years, and eventually we looked for David looked for other employment, my husband looked for other employment, and those connections really came again as a positive, because he could look in the industry and he could find something that he was looking for, and he loves his current job. So it's never going to be a negative. Having those connections now is always going to be a positive in the future. So take the time, make those connections, because that's going to be, I think, the biggest reason you get employment. And I've been doing this for 11 years. So when I tell you it works, it does work, because you're not a CV anymore. And I always stress this, you're setting yourself aside, or setting yourself apart, that's the better word, as an actual person in this process.
Thanks, Des. Let me try and make it a little bit more practical and give a little bit of my examples as well. So, Lisa, I know it's so disheartening. So first off, I just want to lift you up. Don't give up, okay? You just cannot give up, okay? You've got to keep going. This is tough, okay? It is not a quick thing. And it's really hard when they see interest in your CV and you think, oh, there's potential, and you get excited, and then they turn around and say, oh, sorry, but we need you here in 2 weeks, and that's not going to work. So it is hard, but you just got to remind yourself, you just need that one offer. To build on what Des has been saying, patience, I guess, yes, it's definitely a patience game for sure, okay? And what did you say here? It's like a full-time job. I even attending webinars at 2 a.m. to board. I promise you, what a story are you building? You're going to get that job one day, and you'll be here one day, and you're going to be able to share with everybody what your journey was and how hard and how much effort you put into getting here. So don't give up. Making it more practical as well is, how do you, it's not easy to make those connections. If you especially if you're not a person that likes to talk to other people and reach out to people that you don't even know, and it's not even reaching out to them face to face now, it's via LinkedIn and it's via an app. So what do you say? How do you approach them? So first thing is you don't approach them by saying, I'm looking for sponsorship or I'm looking for a job. That's going to shut them down. Okay, they're going to go, oh, they got hundreds of people reaching out to them all the time asking for work. So whether they might just ignore you, even if you're lucky if they reply or if they even connect with you, okay? Asking in that sort of way. And you've got to remember, you're going to ask a lot of people to connect with, and you're going to get a lot of them that just don't ignore you. So of 100, maybe you get 10 that actually connect with you. But we spoke about the research, trying to find the right people to connect with. What I've been doing and done before, and I've even doing it now because I'm trying to show some people that are on the job search masterclass with us, I've been using my LinkedIn over the last 6 weeks. And what I've been doing is I've been trying to post a post once a week, just once a week on my own profile. And it's about stuff in my industry. So I'm a manager, so I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about stuff relevant to them. And I'm just posting my thoughts. And I promise you, it is me just thinking. I go for a walk in the afternoon. I think about a couple of things that my day, my week has been about. And I think, oh yeah, I think I should talk about that. I was at a coffee with one of my partners at the company this week, and we chatted about this topic. I'm going to post about that topic. I post about that topic. Then what happens is you see people start commenting or liking. You watch who likes your comments. See where they're at. Are they potential colleagues at a company that you might want to work at? Or somebody that comments? Is it somebody in your industry? Now, when you reach out to that person, you first reply to them on your comment and you say, thank you so much for your comment. Interesting thoughts on whatever else. And then you try connect with them. Now, it's a warm connection. It's not, oh, I'm connecting with somebody I don't know. It was off the back of your post. Now, you do it the other way around as well. When they're posting, that's why you go research the companies that you want to work at and look at who's posting on those company feeds. Look at who the people are, see what they're posting. So before you connect, you even go try and find what are their posts. Comment on their posts. See, most people love a comment on their post. So when they get a comment, they'll reply. When they reply, you reply. But don't reply asking for a job. Reply talking about the post, talking about what interests them. Then try connect with them. Now it's a warm connection. They'll probably connect with you. So it takes work. These are the ideas that you want to try, use. You can use LinkedIn as a tool, but it takes time trying to do this. And that's what I'm trying to prove to people. I've done it. It's working. And I'll tell you, it's working to the point where I've had a number of people in the last few weeks now, they started noticing I'm posting more on LinkedIn. Now, I'm not looking for a job. I'm blessed. I'm living here and I'm okay. But I've now suddenly got some recruiters that have been reaching out and asking, hey, are you on the market? What's going on? And then I've got other people that I'm working with. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you posting stuff? What's going on? I'm trying to explain stuff. So it's proof that it can work, but it takes effort. It takes time. So do it, guys. Please do it. Build those connections. Find those companies are the right companies to potentially hire you and your skill. I know I'm bringing it up again. In our soft landing community, if you join our community, right at the top on the tracker, there's a green list tracker that we update on a monthly basis, and we break it down into the 4 different sectors. So there will be in the medical, the education, the like construction and the IT sectors, and we do research on looking at Seek, looking at Trade Me, whatever else, what companies are advertising what positions. So you could even go look, oh, there's a company, so it could help you with your research. Then go find that company if it's in your industry, and then go follow them and go find the people that work there and try see what they're posting and try connect with them and see how that'll work. I'm currently taking Brett and Dez's advice. It's time consuming, but it's going to be worth it. Vix, thank you. You've like made my day. I promise you. And it's a Friday morning. It's dark outside. It's nice and early. It's before 6 in the morning. Vix, love that. And Vix, are you Vix as in Vicky, as in I got your name wrong all the time? I'm hoping it's Vicky that's been going to the Coffee Connects. And if it's you, Vicky, that's freaking awesome. And if it's not, Vix, awesome. I'm just trying to place you. Lulu, you're saying hi. Hi, Lulu. So awesome to have you join us. Lulu, are you in our community? I'm so sure I've seen you in our community. I think you are. Any other questions from anyone else? Des, anything else you wanted to add? Yes, that's me. It is you, Vicky. Oh, so cool. I know I messed up your name. I still feel so embarrassed about it. But yes. And Vicky, I've seen yours and your husband's LinkedIn profiles. I know you've sent it to me to have a review, and I've got some comments and everything on that as well, because over and above everything else we're sharing, there's also a layout and the way you present on your LinkedIn profiles, from your picture to your abouts to even your working history and how you present that history and everything like that. So Vicky's actually joining us for our Coffee Connects. We do a Coffee Connect every 2 weeks. So there's another one next week, Thursday. And I'm going to bring up on the screen in that Coffee Connect, go through hers and her husband's LinkedIn profile with just what I think, in my opinion, what I think works and little tweaks you can make to stand out a little bit better. I can tell you your banners are awesome though, Vicky. Love your banners. Both your banners are really bright. They catch attention. It's great. Your photos are good. So I love those. There's just some other stuff that I'm going to go through with you. Shantae's here. Shantae. Oh, so nice to have you on the live as well. Oh, come on, Shantae. I'm itching to ask if you guys have got that opportunity. Are you moving soon? Oh, I'm really hoping it's the case, but we'll wait and see. What does Lulu see here? Yes, me. Sorry, Lulu says, I'm in the community, yes, and met with Desiree as well. I thought so, Lulu. I thought I recognized you. And it was even your profile pic, as small as it is, on the screen for me. I'm pretty sure that it was you. So nice to have you, Lulu. And Shantae, currently working through Desiree with immigration, and can highly recommend. Oh, Shantae, you're awesome. So thank you for that. Des is awesome. I can tell you, Des is who helped me and my family 3.5 years ago. And I know she's moved here now, but that's why I'm working with Des, is because it's somebody that I know helped me and my family, and I trusted, and it worked for us. And that's why I'm recommending them. And it's also on her heart, you know, she genuinely wants to help. Des actually probably helps far too much. She goes to the ends of the earth and helps everyone. So she's phenomenal, really awesome.
You guys are making me blush on the live. Come on now.
It's the truth, Des. It's the truth. You're amazing. And then
Thank you.
What does Lisa say? Imagine one day we can all get together in New Zealand for a braai and remember this conversation. Oh, man. Lisa,
Yes.
that would be awesome. And I love that. I love that idea. When you guys all get here, you stay in contact with us in the community. I promise you, we connect up. I'd love that. Vic says, thank you. Yeah, it's cool. Oh, user. I'm going to just call you user61 because I can't go through that number. So user61 just joined. Oh, okay, you just joined the slot there. I'm looking forward to joining after this live cast. Awesome. I would love to have you in the community, which is going to be cool. Shantae, thanks, Brett. Soft landing app is amazing. As a support to make this process easier. Oh, Shantae, you are awesome. I love that. That'll be great. Fingers crossed. It's very soon. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. I didn't want to let the cat out the bag, Shantae, so I was like, oh, I want to know. Okay, it's soon. But yes, we're crossing everything and we can't wait, which is really cool. User 61, lol, that's fine. Okay, cool. Lulu, if you have the braai before we get there, we need to arrange another. Oh, you don't only have one braai, Lulu. You have lots of braais. Okay, so that's okay. Oh, I must admit something, and now I'm going to, for any South Africans on the call, when I have a braai, I barbecue now because I use gas. Okay, so I don't know. So if you come to my house, it'll be gas. It's just simpler. But I know a lot of South Africans won't like that. I don't know. Does Donnie braai with wood still, or do you guys use gas nowadays? You do.
No.
Oh, you still do it the right way. Okay. So maybe it's at Des's house. We're going to Des's house to do it properly, not on gas like me. Cool.
Oh, I don't mind. More than welcome.
Shantae, we prefer gas to here. It's just so much easier. We heard that chocolate is quite pricey there. Wow, I wouldn't know, Lulu, so I'm going to ask Des because I just turned the gas on.
It is quite pricey, but I think I think in every big town you're gonna have a little South African shop. But we're really lucky. There's a South African butcher in Whangarei, so we can still get all the things that we love, like the Sati wash. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I missed it until I got it after 3 years again. So yes, we found a little South African butcher, and they've got charcoal now.
Okay. That's maybe something I'll share with everybody that's on here. There are a lot of South African shops dotted throughout, especially here on North Shore. And when I say North Shore, it's, how do I explain this? There's two islands. There's South Island and North Island. But then on North Island, there's North Shore. So north of Auckland, you cross the bridge to go a little bit higher up. So we're on North Shore, okay? So Des is also on North Shore, but she's really north of North Shore. So she stays really north. But there's a lot of South African shops and you can get a lot of stuff. And I know, Lily, you say, can you put a price on happiness? I promise you, it's one of the big things that we actually did as a family is we made sure we went and bought some stuff from the South African shop because it actually it helped the kids feel a little bit more settled and relaxed just to eat something from home. Because sometimes even just the smells of certain foods and taste of certain foods from home made you feel a little bit better. So that's one of the things we even did when you're having those rough days, when you were missing home or missing family or anything like that. So sometimes it's important to do those things as well. And it's not just South African shops. There's a lot of other international shops here for people from other parts of the world too, be it UK, be it India, etc. So there definitely is a whole migrant community here in New Zealand. So and lots of shops for all of us. So we have that all in common, which is cool. I know we are over on time, but I'm loving talking, which is really cool. Des, is there anything else you want to add? I know you also schools are back, so we got to do school runs and everything this morning. So pack lunches and all the rest. Anything else you want to add?
I wanted to add, although now I feel like I'm talking to the converted. I wanted to just add on to what you said about soft landing. I know Brett keeps mentioning soft landing, and I'm not sure. Obviously, a lot of you are already on there, but I think for me, the reason I loved soft landing, or I love soft landing, when we initially spoke about it, I was like, this is going to be a game changer, because I'm on the Facebook groups. I get to see some of the questions that go out and either get wrong advice, or sometimes there's people that are really, negative because they're having a bad time. They're, struggling to find employment or whatever the case may be. So they put a comment that, is not necessarily helpful. I love soft landing because I kind of feel it's like a very like-minded community. Everyone there is really passionate about the immigration process, and they're all in different stages. So I find that soft landing as a whole is an easy place to kind of get your information, number one. Number two, if you need that positive boost, you're going to get it. I had someone that is on soft landing at the moment reach out to me the other day, and they were like, I don't know who to connect with anymore. I'm just so tired. And I did a search for them. I got some company names for them. I sent it to them. I said, have you connected with these companies? And I had a look at those companies, and there's a couple of South African names that are sticking out there. And I see that because they were South African. And I said, there's a couple of South African surnames I can see popping out in these companies, and they're really active on LinkedIn. Why don't you go connect with them, because you've already got something in common? And they came back to me within a couple of days, and they said, thank you so much. It wasn't even that you did all the research for me. I got so tired after the nose. I just felt like giving up, and you just gave me that boost that I need. And I loved that. Like, that sat with me for so long afterwards, because I was like, yes, I get it. I know, we've been there. I know it's hard to get the no. And it's so nice to just know that you have a community and you have a little village when you get here, and someone's rooting for you. Someone cares about you. So yeah, I think the community really stuck out for me for that reason. And if anything else, even if you never come to a coffee connect, although I really think you're doing yourself a disservice, but if anything else, at least just go and join the free community and start connecting with the people in the free community, because a lot of those people and all the professionals that are on there are really going to be able to help. People like Ivandi, Brett, giving his side of things on the hiring side, because I've never done that. I've never had to hire anyone. So getting his points of view is life-changing. I love it. I mean, I've been in the industry for 11 years, and he teaches me something new all the time. I didn't even know about banks not always hiring. So, I mean, I get new information all the time. So, I mean, I love that. And people like Ivandi, who gives the financial advice. Oh, my goodness, Ivandi is amazing. Having Jacques with their car finance. So, there's people on there that are really dedicated to helping you.
And we're immigrants, and we've been through it. So we really, really understand it. And look, Des, first off, thank you so much for your kind words. I really, really appreciate it. And Shantae, you're being amazing, okay? And everybody else that's asking questions and just joining us, really, really loving it. So thank you so much, really. But we don't want to sell this soft landing as it's the perfect silver bullet. It's going to get you jobs and whatever else. It's not perfect. It's also a new community, and it's our community, meaning we need you guys in it to help us build it, and we'll make it what we want together. So if there's something in the community that's missing, or there's something in the community that you need more of, or that's not happening, let us know, please. And we'll do our darndest to get people added, to get that resource for you, or do it in a different way. I'll tell you, there's somebody I know she's not on the call here. Amber's actually already in New Zealand. She's given us a lot of feedback. She was the idea behind the Coffee Connects, actually. She said, we need more connection, but face to face. So I said, okay, cool, we'll get Coffee Connects going. So that's why Coffee Connects happened, is because Amber was asking for Coffee Connects. So that's why we got those in place. We were getting people that were asking for questions. That's why Des and I, and this is unscripted, I promise you, these TikTok lives, and it's hard getting up at 5 a.m. every Friday to get out here. But we said, we've got to be able to get the message out there and try and help as many people as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. So really, thank you everybody for all the encouragement, all the kind words. Shantae, Lulu, Vicky, geez, I don't want to miss anyone because now I feel bad if I miss anyone. Lisa, thanks for all the questions. Thanks for joining us. It's really, really awesome to have you guys join us. It makes it just the world of difference for Des and I when we go live. It's a scary thing going live, I promise you. And you wonder, are people going to join? Are they going to ask questions? I hope, you don't want to do this and you feel you're not helping. So we love that you guys are asking questions and engaging. So thank you so much. And we'll be doing this every week, same time. That's what we're trying to get into, a regular cadence, a regular time slot. So for us, it's 5:30 every Friday morning. So I'm guessing for most people, it should be a Thursday evening or a Thursday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. So we would love you to join us every single week, and we can answer any questions you may bring up related to moving to New Zealand. Let's just see the last bit there. What did Lisa say? We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate that. Lulu, thank you for guiding us through the journey. We appreciate it lots. Oh, thanks, Lulu. I really appreciate this, guys. Thank you so, so, so much. And Des, thank you. I know you've got tons on your plate and making the time, so thank you. Thanks, Vicky.
Well,
really appreciate
thank you,
it.
guys.
Okay. Everybody must have an awesome, I'm saying evening for most of you, but a good Friday and an awesome weekend. And we'll see you guys hopefully in the community. If not, we'll see you guys next week. So everybody keep well. See ya. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.